Alright, so here we're gonna drop us a forest, drop that Rotting Reggie. We still got that mana left over to play a little bit of Great Henge and the value, baby, the value. Here we got the Questing Beast coming down off the Great Henge. Just a 5/5 trample haste death touch. Not a big deal. We'll draw us a card, but the opponent scoops it up. They got the ram through. That's what you thought, son, but the Noxious Grasp hitting them. Get them dead. Ain't hurting my Murderous Rider. Let's go. How's it going, y'all? Titans fan 920 here. Now, you're going to be noticing this a little bit different. You'll see me moving in the background here. I'd actually edited this whole video. You see this apologies for the loud music, which is why I'm doing this post-commentary, because your boy may or may not got multiple copyright claims against the channel. One of my favorite little synthwave bands, Gunship, which you should definitely check out Gunship despite these copyright claims. They made their music copyright-free for Twitch. And so I played it on Twitch during a stream the other day when the bands were announced. However, didn't know this. Apparently, just because it's good on Twitch and good to go doesn't mean it's good on YouTube. So I woke up this morning to about 24 emails to copyright claims for individual songs. So we are redoing this so I can show you all the video. So this is post-ban Golgari Adventures. This is my first take at the deck list here. We're playing the Adventure Package with Edgewall Innkeeper. So I have big things like Rotting Regisaur and Demonic Embrace. Let's go. First game is against Spartacus. Starting out in Gold 2 here still from where we left off last time. This opener here, we got Edgewall Innkeeper and Eliminate, but otherwise it's 5 lands. We get to be on the play, but it's just not worth it. This one's not super exciting either because 2 Foulmire Knights and the Great Henge don't really equal too much value. It's keepable though. Figure we can play these Foulmire Knights down, and that way, just in case it's like an aggressive deck or something like that, hold the line down. It's mono red, so yeah, 10 Street Dodger. So hey, Foulmire Knight going to be doing its job. I figure anything they swing at us here, we might as well block with because they play Stomps and things like that. They can kill our Foulmire Knight. So here we'll play Temple Malady, bottom of land to the bottom, and play Foulmire Knight number 2. Again, you may see me asking or see things in my chat about the music. You can't hear it, but shout out to Gunship for making some beautiful synthwave grooves, baby. So here we can hold up Eliminate. Usually I wouldn't want to swing with a one power Foulmire Knight. I'd rather hold it back. But we'll see what they do here. Opponent has the Bonecrusher Giant. And there was some thought of like maybe I should eliminate my own Foulmire Knight so that way they couldn't Bonecrusher. But then there's a chance they play a 3-drop here like Annex, we couldn't kill it. So we'll kill the Annex, they'll get a Satyr token, but it's not that big of a deal for them to have one, is what it is. Now we need to find something good here. Instead we find a Castle Locthwain. So even though we bottomed 2 lands, we've seen 5 off the top here. So kind of rough, but that's how it is. 5 plus the 2 we bottom. Still, if we got the Great Henge, if we can just happen to get the Great Henge down, we'll be feeling great. So opponent goes to attack here. 4 mana open, so they can't Embercleave us quite yet. They'll play a Scorch Spitter and to a Bonecrusher Giant. So it's not looking good for us. Here I'll use Castle to draw, and we draw a Rotting Regisaur, which is indeed fantastic. And the beautiful thing about that with 5 mana is we play the Rotting Regisaur, and then we still have Great Henge mana left over. So now we can start gaining 2 life every turn. They're never going to be able to attack through this Rotting Regisaur unless it's with an Embercleave. So I figured no matter what we do, I have to play around my Regisaur dying to Embercleave because I need that thing to survive. So opponent plays the Castle Emberth here. Robber the Rich. They can play Robber here and still attack with 4 creatures, which gives them the ability to Embercleave no matter what. So if I block the Bonecrusher or the Robber, my Regisaur will die. So I decided to block the Scorch Spitter, even if they have Bonecrusher on the Bonecrusher Giant, or if they Embercleave on the Bonecrusher. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, and we're not dead yet. We're gaining 2 points a turn, 2 points of life a turn with this Great Henge, so we're in good shape. And that's the beauty of this new meta, is we can play adventure decks, we can play the Great Henge, we can play Golgari Adventures. Since when have we been able to play that? Our top deck here is a beautiful Rotting Regisaur, so we'll gain some more life. Play us an 8/7 Regisaur, then we top deck a Questing Beast. That is the thing you'd love to see with this deck. So now, I could attack in, swing for 12, but that leaves a little bit weak to blockers, so I figure if I can just swing this 5/5 Questing Beast here, get them down to 15, that makes their attacks kind of rough, and then we have this Questing Beast to power on through some damage, be a good blocker. Now it is awkward when they swing this Bonecrusher Giant. I've still got to block, and I don't want to take any trample damage. They can pump it up with Castle Emberth, which is a little bit scary as well. So we're doing a little bit of combat math here. Figure if they pump it up to 6, or if I have another burn spell in hand, that's a little bit scary. So it's a possibility I may want to double block here. This way, we guarantee that this Bone Crusher Giant dies no matter what. So they'll probably just choose to kill my 8/7 here if that's the case. So yeah, they do that. See, Royal Aid subscription. Shout out to the homie Royal Aid. Once again, we draw another nice card here. We had to pitch Jolrael, but still, not a huge deal. Figure let's just pop off a little bit. Down there in a bad spot, we have big creatures, big mana things. So now we got all this stuff to do, and opponent scoops it up. We don't have to worry about it. Let's go. And JRR, the homie chick, jumping in to see it. You'll love to see it. So sideboard-wise, we'll add in 2 more Heartless Acts. Some removal here is always good. Looking at what they got on the field there, some Cry the Canary can come in. Otherwise, that's about all we really got for him here. As far as what we want to take out on the draw, so as far as what we take out here, Order of Midnight can't block, so it doesn't really do much for us there. We take out 1. What was that we even took out? I didn't see. I'm too fast. These clicking fingers too fast. We take out some Demonic Embrace here. Otherwise, leave it in. Just add some removal instead. So game number 2 against Mono Red. Let's see if we can't beat them down once again with these big old wolf fatties. Opener here is a Castle Lockwayne and cards. Now, if we could draw a green source, his hand's actually fire. Like, this is all the stuff I want to see against them, but only 1 land that comes in tapped. Probably not going to do it. So, we'll mulligan here. Once again, Arena says, hey, you wanted 1 land, right? Right? You wanted 1 land? Again, it's a great hand against them if we could just keep it. So we decide to keep it. We have, I mean, if it's going to be 1 land on the draw, then a temple is the one that I want to see. So we're going to risk it for the biscuit, baby. See me checking my Spotify, which got me in trouble. We'll drop a Temple of Malady down here. Edgewall Innkeeper to the bottom. Now, we gotta find some lands. On the draw, we drew a land, and then we scribed 1 to the bottom. We got to find something. Opponent plays a 10 Street Dodger and goes to attack. Ooh, is this the only land that they got? So opponent keeps the 1 lander. We whiff on the land. Ah, you hate to see it. We play a reasonable amount of amount of lands in this deck to hit our land drops, but unfortunately that was not the cards. Opponent plays a Scorch Spitter and again passes the turn. Here we'll play this Castle Lockwayne, which has to come in tapped. Now the good news is here we have this Cry the Canary in hand, so if we can draw an untapped land this next turn, like right here, if we can draw an untapped land, we'll be feeling pretty good. Now we already are down to 9, and unfortunately we miss out on land here. So we kept a 1 lander. We can't complain about it too much. It's unfortunate the Shuffler decided we needed back-to-back 1 landers, but that is what it is. So no sideboard changes here. Go right back into it. So game number 2 against Spartacus. We'll take the play. We get a 3-land hand, and it's not a bad one. We have this Eddie coming down on turn 1, Foulmire Knight on turn 2 to trigger it, should it not get shocked. We take those. In worst case, if they want to shock our Edgewall Innkeeper, then it's not a huge deal. So we'll play Edgewall Innkeeper down on turn 1 and pass the turn. And I'm sure y'all noticed by now, even in the very few days that this new set has been kind of revitalized here, Edgewall Innkeeper is a card again. So keep your eyes up for that, because Eddie is here to cause some damage. So here we'll play the Foulmire Knight. The adventure side of it's fine, but it's something we don't really want to do for the most part if we can avoid it. Opponent on turn 2 plays Double Spitter. It's a little spooky. So I figure with this Primal Might, since I can only fight once, the plan here is to for sure keep that Rotting Regisaur on the top. Primal Might here, boost this up for once, that way it's a 2/2. Fight the Scorch Spitter, and then we'll just hold this Foulmire Knight back again. Once again, if they want to use removal on this Foulmire Knight, they can, but if not, not a huge deal. This opponent plays a 10 Street Dodger and then Scorching Dragonfire. But hey, if that's a Scorching Dragonfire you're using on my 1-mana 1/1, you go for it, homie. So here, we pick up the Castle Lockwayne, we pick up the Rotting Regisaur, and throw it down! Throw it down! And I gotta say, it's been, I'm gonna repeat myself a lot, I had so much fun playing yesterday. This video and the next 2 all come from that stream because we just, spoiler alert, we ran pretty hot and it was a lot of fun. It was just a good feeling to play some of these decks I've not got to play in a while, and to just actually have fun playing the game of Magic, something I've not got to do in a while, so it felt really good. So here, I decided to take a little bit of a risk. I can play the Great Henge, put the Great Henge down. I can play Murderous Rider as a creature, because if this resolves and they don't Scorching Dragonfire it here, then it's a 3/4 lifelink, which is good. Unfortunately, I have the Dragonfire, But that means they're down to 1 card in hand while we're swinging for 7 with a Rotting Regisaur. And we still draw an Edgewall Innkeeper. So even with that 1 point of mana left over, we put this down. It now becomes a 2/2. We pick up a Cry the Canarium. A little bit awkward with the Edgewall Innkeeper, but at this point it won't even matter. We have a Rotting Regisaur down. We're good. So from here, I'm kind of just hoping, hey, fill the board out. Let us Cry the Canarium. Let's see what we can do. So Forever Champion, okay. Give us one more 1-drop. Give us one more 1-drop. Why don't you? It's a Lava Coil. Still, opponent swings in. And we just know they're going to ruin their day now. So we have to discard that Cry the Canarium, unfortunately, because I'm a big dummy and I forgot. My chat was laughing at me on that one. I have to laugh at myself, too. However, Questing Beast off the top's pretty good, eh? We gain 2 life, play a 5/5 Questing Beast, and get him dead. Let's go! The Titan Flex going strong, baby. Once again, the 4 ticks in gold. You love to see it. So game number 2 here. We'll take the play once again. And I gotta say, I got to be on the play actually more than I was on the draw yesterday, which is a super rare feeling, and I just loved it. This hand here is pretty good. We got a Lovestruck Beast into Jolrael, into either Beast or Demonic Embrace. So we start off here, play a little bit of Heart's Desire, pass the turn. Look for more Lovestruck Beasts in the format now that Adventures can be a thing again. I expect Temur Adventures to be a pretty big deal in Standard. Start off here, offer the trade. Unfortunately, opponent, they just don't want to take it, I guess. I'm deciding here, do I play the Swamp or do I play Temple of Malady to guarantee that I can get down my turn 3 and turn 4 plays? I play the Temple, kind of a chicken. But I do get to see this Vivien on top and keep it there. Guarantee we can get that down. Because I think Vivien's a pretty good card if this is in mono green, getting to kill their big creatures before they can kill us with Primal Mites. So Growth Chamber Guardian comes down. A card that I'm still not high on, and I'll probably never be high on again. But when it works, I guess it's fine. Turn 3 here, we'll drop a Lovestruck Beast and pass the turn to opponent. They can activate Growth Chamber Guardian if they want here. We can still block it with anything, though. So let's see what the opponent decides to do. So the opponent will play a Pelt Collector down. So they're not activating Guardian. They'll play a Heart's Desire and another Heart's Desire. So opponent popping off. Turn 3 and they got 5 creatures down. As far as my end of the board, you hate to see that. So now here I'm deciding, play this Fable Passes down. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to get Questing Beast down and start attacking through some of this stuff, or if I put down Vivien. And I don't remember what I played here. I believe if I was me doing it live here, I'd play the Questing Beast, get the attacks in there, so that way next turn I could throw down Vivien and shoot something if need be. But let's see what we decided to do, eh? We throw down the Questing Beast, swing for 9. 9, I tell you. So easy chumperoonie for the opponent. Questing Beast getting that 4 points of damage in there. 4 points of damage secured. Tight game here, though, for sure. Opponent had a hell of a start. So here, they'll play Questing Beast out. Double Growth triggers for the Pelt Collector, and we don't like that. Here, we pick up a Murderous Rider, which is fine. Usually, I would maybe want to kill their Lovestruck Beast and keep on attacking. However, with double Pelt Collector out, it just makes all my removal so odd, because if I kill anything big, it grows their Pelt Collectors. So it's a rough situation for us. Here, deciding I'm just going to play Vivien, so we might as well play the Overgrown Tomb down tapped. I can distribute 2 +1/+1 counters. And here's where I think I got a little bit ballsy and a little bit too stupid here. I decided to make this a 6/6, so that way I could have some trample damage go through and all that. And they smartly double block here. So I still get down 4 points of damage and kill 2 of the creatures. But my Questing Beast could have got so big so fast and been able to just run over everything. Would have been very nice. Spell Collector there of theirs gets 2 different triggers on it. They can play their Lovestruck Beast now and make their other Pelt Collector a 5/5. So possibly a little, I wouldn't call it a punt, but I think it could have been managed a little bit better. And the opponent has a great hinge here, and they play a Scavenging Ooze off the top. Yikes. Now the good news is, as long as they don't pop off super crazy on us, we do have a really good hand. We can put down another Lovestruck Beast here, or we can start making this Murderous Rider. We can Murderous Rider something else. We can make a put tokens on the Lovestruck Beast and then make it flyer. We have all kinds of options here. So now opponent's tapped out. They've only got 1 card in hand. We still have 4 cards in hand, so I'm feeling pretty good right here. Swinging for 5, see what the opponent decides to do. They decide if they're going to chump, they're going to chump. So they chump away with that 1/1. Here we got the Murderous Rider, and I'm deciding if I should kill the Scavenging Ooze now. It's kind of awkward because I can kill the Scavenging Ooze or the Growth Chamber Guardian before they can respond to it again. But then they have things like Lovestruck Beast, which can kind of go wild, so it's just a little bit iffy. I know I'm going to hold up Murderous Rider here, though, so I decided to play Jolrael down. And I figure, why not? Let's go ahead and kill the Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze, there's a lot of cards in the graveyard right now that it can eat, and it just gets so out of shape. Now, maybe with the Great Henge being down, I should have killed the Growth Chamber Guardian just to guarantee they didn't get any value from it. But decided not to. Figure Jolrael's not getting us any real value right now, so we can just chump block with it. So opponent plays a Garen Brig. Again, they've only got 1 card in hand. We'll see how wild this Great Henge can go. Anytime you see that Garen Brig activation, you know you could be in trouble. So they play a Lovestruck Beast. It's a 6/6. They play Heart's Desire here. They can play another Lovestruck Beast. They play a Stonecoil Serpent to draw another card. Play a Pelt Collector. Ah! And now they can play their Lovestruck Beast. That's just such an incredible turn for the opponent. So even though it looked like it was in pretty good shape for us, unfortunately that Great Henge just so much value. Like, you can't really do much when they get that train going like that. So opponent plays Lovestruck Beast. It'll be another 6/6. They'll draw another card. So all of a sudden this game looked like it was pretty much maybe in our favor because it's going to be a little bit dicey. We're terrified now. So we'll go ahead and start off by playing this Edgewall Innkeeper down. Figured maybe play this Murderous Rider down so that way I'll at least have some lifelink. And then if they kill it for some reason, I can get a Murderous Rider back in my graveyard. I could put counters on this Murderous Rider, make it a 4/5 with lifelink, which isn't too bad. But I figure instead, let's just keep this growing this beast for now, get it out of range. And that way eventually, if I put this Demonic Embrace on it, if it's large enough, I could potentially Primal Might something to fight it and then grow it a lot. Got 1 more mana remaining right now. Fighting anything doesn't do too much, so I decided to just make this a 7/7, play another Heart's Desire, and pass the turn. So opponent just keeps taking us to Value Town, and I don't want to go. They never even asked me if I wanted to go to Value Town. I wanted to stay at home. Here, and when I see the Growth Chamber Guardian activate, I know it's just going to be the bad beats for us. They just keep on playing a bunch of Growth Chamber Guardians, so we lose this one. So we put some Noxious Grass in there and some Heartless Axe. Now, Heartless Axe is a little bit awkward because a lot of their stuff gets counters, but still, it's a pretty good card. MTG Joe with the raid, which any of y'all YouTube folk, if for some reason you follow me but not MTG Joe, he has a fantastic YouTube channel as well, so check him out. We take out the Jolraels here. The Jolraels were something I was trying as an experiment, but in the end, just a spoiler alert, I think I'm going to take them out. I think another Scavenging Ooze, maybe more Primal Might, maybe another Order of Midnight or something like that. There's different options there, but I just don't think Jolrael's worth the inclusion. I think it's a worthy test with Edgewall Innkeeper, getting that value, making tokens. That's a very nice little engine there if it gets to work, but it's so niche that it's just not worth it. So we decided to keep this 2-lander here. It's a tad sketchy because of the Fable Passage, but we still want to keep it. It's still some really good cards here. Turn 1, we figure we throw down this Edgewall Innkeeper, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Pelt Collector on 1. And here, since I don't really have any adventure cards I plan on playing soon, I decided let's attack in with the Edgewall Innkeeper and offer that trade, which they do take. And that's a good trade on their end as well. But from where I'm standing with my hand, I think it was a worthy thing to swing in there. So here they play a Heart's Desire. They pass the turn. Go ahead, Fable Passage here. Go get a Black Source. Looking for a land, and thank goodness we find one. So now we got Murderous Rider held up. It's just removal.deck now. We have 2 Noxious Grass, a Heartless Act, and a Murderous Rider held up ready to go. Now we will need to draw a creature at some point, but if we can find a creature, we'll be pretty happy. Lovestruck Beast coming down. Trying to think of what to do here, but Noxious Grass and Heartless Act both cover a lot of different spaces here, so I decided to just kill the Lovestruck Beast, be the most mana efficient that I can. That way, if I want to, I can just play this Murderous Rider out this next turn. So Temple Malady coming down. Edgewall Innkeeper at this point of the game isn't really where we want to be since we don't have any other adventure cards, so we just play the Murderous Rider down, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest, and they play a Questing Beast. Oh no! Lucky for us, we do have lots of removal for that. And we have a Demonic Embrace as well, which is also pretty spicy. For now, though, since we're stuck at 4 lands, figure we can Heartless Act here, destroy the Questing Beast because it's got no counters on it. Then we can attack him with this Murderous Rider, gain some life back that they stole from us. Let's see if opponent wants a chump block here with the 1/1. No Chumperinos. So we get that damage in there, pass the turn to the opponent. Opponent plays a Castle Garenbrig. At this point, just hoping to not see them activate it would be nice. So opponent plays another Questing Beast. Bleh. Luckily, we still have removal for that. So that's back-to-back Questing Beast, but that's back-to-back orders of get the heck out of my game. Really hoping for a land here this turn, so that way I can Demonic Embrace and Noxious Grasp. Instead, we draw another Murderous Rider. So I'm trying to decide what to do here. Since the shields are kind of down, they don't have any real creatures we're too scared of. I make this Murderous Rider a 5/4 flying lifelink. This way, if they play another Questing Beast, we're still gaining 5 life. They're down to 2 cards in hand now, and then a Lovestruck Beast in the Adventure Zone, so we're in a pretty good spot. Here you go. They activate that Castle Garenbrig. We hate to see that. So opponent plays a Voracious Hydra. Now, I'm very curious why they didn't play this for more, because they had 2 more mana, and if they played it for more mana, they could have fought my Murderous Rider. So I'm not sure if that was a punt on their part, if they were just trying to make it just a 6/7 that can block my Murderous Rider safely. Either way, I'll take them not using their cards optimally. Sometimes, again, you gotta rely on the opponents to goof for you. So another Murderous Rider here we'll take. We have this Noxious Grass here. We have another Murderous Rider. Again, just trying to be more mana efficient. As mana efficient as I can here. And just swift in. Give a swift in to that Voracious Hydra. Once again, attack for 5. Get them down to 8. And we're up to 24 life. You love to see it against mono green. So they get the beats in for 2 here because they can't block anyway. 2 cards in hand. We draw another Murderous Rider. But again, that's one we kept on top. So I'm trying to decide what to do here. Instead of playing Vivian, figure just hold up my removal here. That way I have Swift in and Noxious Grasp. Good thing because they had the Ram through. We Noxious Grasp it. GG, let's go. So game 3 here against mono green. Looking for any sideboard changes we may want to make here. In the end, no sideboard changes. Run the same thing back at him and show him how it's done. Let's go. I don't know why y'all watch me sometimes, honestly, but I really appreciate that you do. Opening a hand here is real nice. We got 2 big Rotting Regis. We got a Primal Might. We got a Heartless Act. This is a hand we love to see. Opponent mulligans the 6. Plays a Forest and passes the turn. Temple makes our play real easy. We'll play this Temple. Lovestruck Beast, we'll keep that on top. We can play Little Hearts Desire this next turn if we need to. Or we can kill the Scavenging Ooze before it gets some counters on it. Nothing's in the graveyard yet, though, so we don't have to use our Heartless Act quite yet. Figure for now, take the 2 damage. It's just 2, and they pass the turn, and they don't even seem to have anything. That passed really fast. I'm not sure if they're just passing it, playing the mind games with us here, if they had nothing. Either way, they couldn't do anything with that Scavenging Ooze. Not a big deal. Here we shock in. We'll just play a big old Rotting Regisaur. Now, if they play a Questing Beast here, we can block it and trade. They play an Occam Adversary for 4 mana, which you never want to do. But I've been on that side before where you just can't get the Occam Adversary to fire off like you want it. It is what it is. And we top deck. And I wish the chat wasn't muted because I was just saying, man, I'd really like to top deck a Demonic Embrace because that way I could just fly over this adversary. And what do you know? We got a Flying Dinosaur, baby. That's a 10-7. That's a 10-7 with wings. So now, all of a sudden, if they don't have a removal spell for this Rotting Regisaur, they are just dead next turn. Figure, go ahead and crack this Fabled Pass. Just get a green source in case we top deck a Vivian. No need to fight right now because we don't want to kill our Flying Dino. Opponent plays a Nissa. Now, they can untap with a Force here and still hold up instant speed removal and ram through. And they get us down to 11, which is a bit spooky. So they draw a card there. And I don't know if they top deck this or not. They get a ram through here, the Death Touch, killing the Rotting Regisaur. I'm not sure if that was a top deck or not, but it seemed like it was to me. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So here, play another Rotting Regisaur. Play this Primal Might for 0. And just have it kill this forest. Again, we don't want to fight the adversary right now. So we get this forest out of the way. That way opponent just has 4 lands, 3 cards in hand. They play a forest here. Let's see what they got. Hopefully no big mana things they can do. If they do, even if they played like a huge Stonecoil Serpent, we can just Murderous Rider it. So unfortunately we can't block there, so opponent will get to draw a card off the adversary. So even though they paid 4 mana for it, they are getting some good value off of it, right? Excuse me. Opponent didn't find what they needed. They scoop it up. GG. That's a big 2-0 there. That is us moving up to Gold 1 and 1 game away from Platinum. Let's see if we can hit Platinum. I mean, Gold's the new Silver now anyway, so it's not very impressive if we do. But still, it feels good. Platinum's where we couldn't get out of last year, so we could just zoom right up there. Back where we stopped at last year, it'd be pretty good. Starting this game on the draw. Trying to decide what to do here. This is a pretty good hand. A little bit awkward because you don't have like a big creature with Edgewall Innkeeper to do anything with, but it's still an Edgewall Innkeeper. So, turn 1. That's an Eddie. Coming down. Value Town. Let's go. Game 2, or turn 2 for them. They play a forest and pass the turn. Says maybe, thinking this is maybe Simic Flash. Still just trying to figure out what deck this is right now. Another Edgewall Innkeeper right now. We decided to bottom it. Because I probably don't want to just play a Murderous Rider out on his face, and I couldn't do that to the. I couldn't play the Murderous Rider out to turn 4 if I played the Eddie anyways. So Euro gotta be kidding me. That joke's never gonna get old. No matter how much I ever may change your grow, don't ever expect that joke to go away. So off the top here, we rip a little Rotting Regisaur. We love to see that. So we'll play Rotting Regisaur down, attack in. And now, once again, for next turn, we're set up to be able to play Great Henge and Demonic Embrace. That's pretty good. Here, waiting for the opponent to slam a Temur or Wilderness Reclamation. Oh, wait, they can't. No Reclamation. It's vacation. It's vacation from Reclamation. It's Anissa. Again. Don't know why y'all watch. Appreciate that you do, though. Opponent untaps a Breeding Pool, which is a bit scary because that means they can hold up Aether Gust and things of that nature. They could also do Brazen Borrower, Petty Theft kind of shenanigans. We pitch a land, draw a land here. I can play this green down safely so that way I can play the Great Henge and then see what they decide to do from there. Great Henge resolves, no problem. So then here we decide to play this Demonic Embrace down. We have a 10-7 Regisaur. Figured it's best to go ahead and get this Nissa out of the way. I don't want them having big mana things that they can do right now in case they have an Ugin that comes down. So 10-7 Flying Regisaur once again. That's an island. That's a Fae of Wish has been played. Now the good news is they shouldn't have too much mana to do much of anything. Still not 100% sure what we're up against right now because it's just been ramp stuff for the most part. So Fae of Wish is an interesting one, but maybe they're just playing a big Wishboard package. It could be Adventures, but that seems awful rampy for what they were playing. Opponent go grabs a Eugene. So they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, and then they go ahead and play the Fae of Wishes out. All normal-like and such. Here we top deck a Vivien, which is a pretty good draw for us. So we decide to play the Vivien here. Now, I'm not really sure if I want to put counters on something or if I want to shoot it down. But I figured, we're thinking. We're thinking. I decided if I can shoot this down, then we're doing 11 damage and we're getting putting them down to lethal this next turn anyways. And I don't want to give them a chance to be able to discard something and draw an answer for this Regisaur. So we do kill the Fae of Wishes there. There's a lot of consideration to be able to just put some more counters on this Regisaur, but I think getting that Fae of Wishes out of there is the best thing to do. So opponent, not enough mana for Ugin still. They play Euro to gain some life, which is annoying, no doubt. So they get them up to 13, and they play a Beanstalk Giant. Now that was not very smart of them, opponent, though. So opponent willingly taps themselves out, even though we have 11 damage on board. I guess they forgot what Vivien does. So we'll just put 2 more counters on here and swing for 13. Opponent, why? Opponent, why? Wow! Thank you, though. I appreciate it. So game 1 against Temur Adventures. We only saw the one adventure card, so it's kind of hard to imagine this is adventures. This looks like just Temur Ramp to me. So against them, I'll put an Ashiok in there. Ashiok can get rid of that Euro really quickly, and then not being able to fetch for stuff or search their wish boards is huge. So Ashiok, fantastic here. Figure we'll take out the 2 Eliminates, even though they have Euro that it hits and Nissa lands. I feel like if we're having to face those things down on the battlefield, then we're probably already losing anyways. I board in 2 Duress here since they seem to have a good amount of non-creature spells. Looking at what else to do here. Ceratop's a consideration. I can attack through Euro. It's a hasty threat off the top, which is really nice. So we take out the Lovestruck Beast here, put the Ceratops in. That gets us down to 60 cards. Game number 2 against Brrrr. Let's go. Opener here. Not super exciting, but let's play all Magic cards. We're on the draw. Take what we can get here. Regisaur makes me a little bit more happy that we kept the hand now. This opponent plays a Forest, and they play a Lucky Clover. So it's a weird. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to just believe that this is an adventure deck that happens to ramp up to Ugin, or if they have this weird sideboard package. I don't know. Either way, we play Edgewall Innkeeper and then another Foulmire Knight. So our hand actually does end up shaping up pretty nicely now. However, they got the Lucky Clover down. They can really start to do a lot of things here to us. They play another Clover, so I know we gotta get the business and the beats on fast. I top deck a Duress here, but if I play a Duress, that's my whole turn. So instead of Duressing, and the unfortunate thing is here, if we have adventure cards, I can't even take those out of the hand with Duress. I could take a Planeswalker like a Nissa or an Ugin, but I can't take their adventure cards. They play the Island. I was really hoping to not see an Island because triple Brazen Borrower is an absolute beating. So we go to discard here. And this is where I think the opponent messed up a little bit. We go to discard here, but before we discard, they shoot all these things back to our hand. I think it's a little bit smarter to let your opponent, if you're playing the other side of this, make them discard first and then bounce the stuff back to hand. That way, they may, just say if I had all gas in hand, then I could have just discarded that instead. I would have been forced to discard that, whereas now I could have been like, well, I don't need this Foulmire Knight. We'll just ditch that instead. So that's pretty brutal. However, opponent does have 3 cards in hand, so maybe we can fight through this still. Could play a Vivian, but Vivian pumping up a Foulmire Knight's not the most exciting thing in the world. And you never know if they have like a triple stomp as well. So I figure let's Duress them first, see what they got. They got Song of Creation, Escape to the Wilds, and Fae of Wishes. No more lands though. So I feel like, I can either take the Song of Creation and make sure they can't do that, or I can take this Escape to the Wilds and hope that, or leave them to Escape to the Wilds and also hope they don't hit a land. I decided to ditch the Song of Creation since they can play it next turn. That way, if they whiff on a land, they've only got Fae of Wishes and that's it. Now, granted, they can Fae of Wishes wish for 3 different cards, which is terrifying. But Song of Creation in this deck, if it gets going with Clover, it's just too much value. So that's a triple granted. Luckily, that is their whole turn here. So we at least get down the beats for 8. So they pick up a Flame Sweep. They pick up another Song of Creation, which again, a little spooky. And then finally a Mass Manipulation, a card I've not seen in forever. Luckily, they have to pass the turn now. Trying to decide what we want to get rid of here. I feel like Edgewall Innkeeper, we're not going to have time to get that value down anymore. So, shock in the Vivian. And now I got a tough decision here. I can put counters on my Regisaur, or I can put 2 counters on this Foulmire Knight and get it out of Flame Sweep range. That way their Flame Sweep is semi-useless. It's an odd it's an odd place to be in here with it, really. So I decided to put the counters on this Foulmire Knight here. We know 4 of the 5 cards in their hand. They're not even close to Mass Manipulation because of their mana. They Flame Sweep, won't do anything now because we're out of range. It can kill this Foulmire Knight, but okay. And if we top deck a land for the Escape to the Wilds, then they really still can't do too much here. So we're looking pretty good. Hopefully, if they just play Song of Creation, they lose because they discard their whole hand. So I'm feeling like we're in a pretty good spot here, unless they just top decked either Stomp or Brazen Bar. So they play Song of Creation, they discard their hand, and that's a GG, my friends. Ceratops off the top just for the extra beats, but we don't even need it. That's Platinum, baby. 3-0 here with Golgari Adventures. Felt really nice. You love to see it. Let's go! Thanks for watching, y'all. Love you guys. See you next time. No more copyright strikes. Let's go!